Hello, brothers and sisters. I want to sincerely welcome all of you to this 1531st Hyojeong CheonBo special workshop. With the grace of the Heavenly Parents and the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind, I pray that all of you will be victorious in the midst of this COVID-19 crisis. True Mother always misses you, and she is making the HJ Cheonwon a more beautiful environment, getting ready for your next visit. She is offering lots of jeonsang so that the training center can truly live up to its name as Heavenly Parents CheonBo Wan, a garden of revival for all humanity. As a result, this has become the kind of place where after we invite VIPs to visit, they come back and bring other VIPs with them. And some of them enjoy the beautiful environment so much that they are moved to write beautiful poems after they visit. Among them, Park Jung-jin, a PhD in cultural anthropology and a poet, also wrote some poems after visiting the place. Dr. Park Jung-jin wrote two poems after his visit and sent them here. The first one is about the Hanwon Chip Tea House. The first view to the east, Hanwon Chip, beneath the Sunin Peak, gracing the mountains and the water. A pair of cranes flew from somewhere, gently folded their wings, and enjoyed the tranquility of the lakeside. Black hair neatly braided, a young lady, a new bride with the dignity of oriental beauty. As warm as a mother's womb, blooming with the mist of life, Cheonpyeong Lake like a moon jar. God is also taken with your beauty. And stops to rest for a while, a house like a mother. Before going to the sea, a beautiful view on the Han River. Hanwon Chip is a lakeside garden. Before the two waters of the Namhan River and the Bukhan River meet to form the Han River, you sit there like a secret hidden dream. The great Han, the Korean people, the Han River, Han's garden, Han's house. Han is one, and one is God. Like the womb of the mother at the beginning, like a lake in my arms' embrace. The sound of life springs up. The world gathers at this origin. I hear the sound of admiration. Mother, mother. Next is a poem about the Tree of Hyojeong. Tree of Hyojeong. When you climb the Hanwon path of heavenly fortune, a beautiful legendary elm tree, the Tree of Hyojeong, we call the Mother Tree. Born of the one mother, one elm tree growing in secret. 79 years, a life of miraculous survival. Somewhere, a wind is blowing, a nostalgic sound that echoes today. Mother's hands are healing hands. When I was hungry, giving of its body to soothe my hunger. When I was hurt, I bound it to me, and I was healed. A lifetime dedicated to peace. The legend is gleaming. It will be handed down over and over again. Grandfather Tangun, since the days of grandmother Mago, we have served and loved you. The garden deity at the entrance of the village, I looked up to you, who climbed high in the sky, a tree of the cosmos. God is not far. When I say thank you, God comes down. When I say I love you, my whole body is enveloped with God's embrace. Friend, when you are sick in mind or body, climb the path of heavenly fortune and repeat, thank you, I love you, bless you, be happy, be rich. We must be human beings who share blessings with all. The Hyojeong tree rides on the mother tree. The soul ascends to heaven to be saved. The empty body descends to the earth and rests. The Tree of Hyojeong holds all of this deep meaning. True Mother visited the Tree of Hyojeong at 9:40 in the morning on the 9th day of the 9th month in the heavenly calendar, October 14th. Then, walking up the path of heavenly fortune, passing the mind and body healing spot, she continued up to Heavenly Fortune Peak, and she had a talk and shared songs with the people accompanying her. And on October 31st, when the autumn leaves were in full splendor, she came again with her grandchildren and took pictures with them. When she first visited the Tree of Hyojeong on October 14th, CheonMo asked me to tell her about the Tree of Hyojeong. The day that we first came across the Tree of Hyojeong, the third day of the fourth month by the heavenly calendar in 2020, April 25th, was when the Hanwon Chip Tea House was being built. The flowers in the training center were in full bloom, and the trees were especially beautiful. So along with several training center staff members, I took a walk to the mountain across from the Buong department store, where there are no paths. Finally, when we reached the ridge and looked down, we had a great view of the brightly blooming training center grounds, and we walked up and down the ridge, admiring the beauty. And I asked one of the lecturers who was with us, Mr. Fukatsu, to call out "Ok Manse" from the top of the ridge. After that, on July 6, 2020, when CheonMo came to the Hyojeong Cafe, I gave her a report on the ceremony for completing construction of the Hanwon Chip Tea House. At the time, I read the prayer from the Hanwon Chip ceremony, and I reported that the place that the Indian poet Tagore was talking about when he said that the lamp of the East would illuminate the world, he was talking about the Hanwon Chip Tea House. It is the place that is coming to fruition in this age of the Asia-Pacific civilization on the Bukhan River, which is the origin of the maritime civilization. The providential meaning of the Hanwon Chip matches Tagore's poem. CheonMo was pleased and responded, "Yes, that site of the Hanwon Chip is a beautiful spot, but there is a more beautiful place up above that one." So I told her how I had been up and down the mountains several times, and I told her that since it was such a beautiful place, it would be nice if she would give it a name. That is when CheonMo gave the names Hanwon Path of Heavenly Fortune and Hanwon Heavenly Fortune Peak, saying that whoever comes to Hanwon Chip and has a cup of tea with Heavenly Parent and then walks up the path to the peak will surely receive Heavenly Fortune. And she said that the owls were keeping watch over the place, and she named the yard outside the tea house the Garden of Revival. After that, even though the path had not yet been cleared and built, I went up and down the slope offering Jeongsang every day. And one day, while I was doing that, I found a very big spiritual tree. It was a large tree with a base of 4.5 meters, a circumference of 3.5 meters, and a height of 32 meters. After that, I went up several times, touched the tree, inquired to find out what kind of tree it was, and I prayed about it. After that, following the celebration of the 61st True Children's Day on November 15th, 2020, the first day of the 10th month by the lunar calendar, there was a luncheon at Cheonjeonggung. I reported to CheonMo about the tree and asked her to give a name for it. Without any hesitation, CheonMo told me it should be called the Tree of Hyojeong. And she said that this tree has many precious things, and she told me to find out about them. At that moment, I felt clearly that this Tree of Hyojeong is a very precious tree. I felt strongly that if we repent and become one with true parents, amazing works will happen. Moreover, this day marked the 111th day since the beginning of our Cheongsimwan special Jeonsang condition. After that, on November 26, 2020, on the day of the Cheongsim Academy board meeting at Hyojeongyeon, I showed the Hyojeong tree to Dr. Woo Jung-chun. Dr. Woo Jung-chun said, "It seems to be at least 250 years old, so you should apply to the Kapyeong-gun office to register it as a protected tree." And he contacted one of his former students who works at the Kapyeong-gun office. On January 13th, 2021, the first day of the 12th month by the heavenly calendar, which was a very snowy day, officials in charge of the Kapyeong-gun designated protected trees and some experts in measuring trees came to visit. After drilling for a long time, they prepared a report of their inspection, and then on March 8th, an official letter came from Kapyeong-gun. Regarding the request for designation of a protected tree in San 69 Seongsanri Sorakmyeong Sorak in our county, the condition age of the tree was checked by a tree specialist, and we must notify you that this tree is not a candidate for designation as a protected tree for the following reason. We ask for your understanding. Requested tree, one elm tree, age 79 years, as analyzed and assessed by a specialized company. Review opinion. In accordance with the guidelines for the designation and management of protected trees, this tree does not meet the criteria of 200 years required for designation of an elm tree as a protected tree. However, it is possible to reapply for registration of the requested tree as a beautiful tree designated and managed by Gapyeong-gun. Some people were disappointed when they saw the official report, but I was very surprised when I saw the official notice. This is because I noticed the Tree of Hyojeong was precisely 79 years old. What is striking about this is that it makes the tree exactly the same age as mother, calculating age in the Korean manner. This was a miracle. Even hundreds or thousands of years from there, those who visit will be able to see the Tree of Hyojeong, which is the same age as True Mother. And they will think of True Mother. Through this, we can feel that heaven has provided a mysterious providence for True Mother, the only begotten daughter. Therefore, the Hyojeong tree can be seen as a tree that symbolizes True Mother. In Norse mythology, Odin, the god of creation, was walking along the beach with his brothers one day, and he found two trees. One of them was an ash tree, and the other one was an elm tree. It is said that they carved these two trees into the figures of two people. As a result, the ash tree became a man named Asker, and the elm tree became a woman named Embla. That is why in Northern Europe, the elm tree is called the mother tree. The root of the elm tree is used as an important medicine called yugunpi, and its root and bark can help to alleviate gastrointestinal diseases, weak immune systems, atopy, diuretic problems, insomnia, rhinitis, sinus treatments, boils, sterilization, skin beauty, anti-cancer, blood circulation. It is a very important element for remedies at Oriental medicine clinics. In the pioneering era of the American West, there is also a story about the elm tree. There was a boy who fell down from the covered wagon and was so badly injured it looked like he might die. His mother offered an earnest prayer. In her prayer, an angel came to her and told her to cut the bark of the tree next to her and bind it to her son's wounds. She did as she was instructed in the vision, and the boy recovered so well that it became a legend. How frustrating would it be for the angels to watch human beings who don't realize that if you bind the tree bark to people's wounds, you can save their lives? This mother's faith and offering were so strong that an angel appeared and taught her. And this tree is also known as a plant that can save people from starvation, a plant that can be eaten when food is scarce due to a famine. When our ancestors had nothing to eat, they used a mixture of the inner elm bark and pine bark to satisfy their hunger. And when the new leaves appear in the spring, they pick them and eat them in soup, or dip them in rice or soybean flour, steam them to eat. In addition, the fruit was steamed into a powder and eaten, and in winter, soaked in alcohol, so there was nothing that needed to be discarded. Because the elm has many twigs, it can be planted as a fence. And because they grow to great heights, it is a tree that is one of the world's most popular roadside trees. Since the wood is hard and does not rot easily, it has also been used to build fortresses, bridges, and ships. Because of its many uses, it has been given the nickname the tree that suffers a lot of hardships. But in spite of all of that, this Hyojeong tree has survived 79 years. It is truly a tree that has grown under the protection of heavenly parents. About 70 years ago in Korea, the whole peninsula was mostly bare mountains. After the Korean War, when the entire country was devastated by the fighting. In particular, this area, Gapyeong-gun, was a place where there were many battles with the UN forces. So in the early 1970s, there were not very many trees that were taller than a human being. Nevertheless, this Hyojeong tree has endured in those conditions for 79 years and established itself as a beautiful tree. The training center employees cleared out the undergrowth to make a clear path up to the tree and open an area around it. At the same time, we created a side road so that True Mother could come close to the tree by car, and then we always waited for True Mother to come. Finally, after 9 o'clock on the 9th day of the 9th month, we received a phone call. True Mother is going to the Hyojeong tree. We hurriedly went to the Tree of Hyojeong to meet Mother. Mother went close to the Tree of Hyojeong and greeted it by touching it. And she said to the tree, "I was born in the first month by the lunar calendar. What month were you born in?" As she touched the tree. Actually, the buds of trees usually sprout in the month of May. So that means the tree is a younger brother who was born about 3 months later than True Mother, in April, according to the lunar calendar. True Mother offered her a blessing, saying, "Those who come to the Tree of Hyojeong often and pour out their hearts into it will have good health." After that, more and more people have come to the Tree of Hyojeong to pray, offer jeongseong. Some people embrace the tree for a long time and say that they felt the love of Heavenly Parent and True Parents and received great grace. And a few days after True Mother touched the tree, surprisingly, a cicada came and sat at the very spot where True Mother had touched. The cicada chose this place to end its life and cross over the Rainbow Bridge. I thought this was a really impressive thing, so I took a photograph, and the cicada was brought to me by the district leader from Gyeongnam, Jung Bok-dong. So now we are carefully storing it in the special prayer room at Cheonchim-won. Brothers and sisters, nothing can describe the hard work of true parents who have pursued the providence of restoration through indemnity in search of the restored Adam and Eve, trying to restore the fall. Along with the blood of hundreds of millions of Abels, true parents finally appeared. True parents searched for this Hyojeong Cheonwon, the new Garden of Eden, and finally restored it with bone-crunching jeongseong. This year marks the 50th anniversary since they began CheonBo works here. In the meantime, amazing works have taken place, and this year, despite the great catastrophe of COVID-19, we have had incredible attendance at our great works. Every time we held great works this year, we have had as many people watching as we used to have for a whole year. And each time we have also set a new record for attendance. So in February this year, 81,000 people attended in Winter Great Works, 90,000 came to the Spring Great Works, 90,500 to the Summer Great Works. It means 353,550 people registered just for the 4 Great Works this year, and 143,523 people registered for the other workshops. So a total of 487,073 people have registered for workshops this year. But in our hearts, we feel we still must do better. True parents have said that all the members must attend and participate in the Hyojeong CheonBo Special Great Works. and receive the special grace that is mobilized from the spiritual realm. The grace of Hyojeong CheonBo's special great works and CheonBo works is truly amazing. In particular, the grace of separating spirits is a wonderful grace and blessing. Brothers and sisters, in the last great works, there was a testimony from the second generation family of Kyung-woo Lee and Yamani Ari. Many members were very moved by the video of the testimony. As I watched it over and over again, I was also very grateful and thankful for the amazing grace of Heavenly Parent and the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Kyung-woo Lee was suffering from a rare disease called ankylosing spondylitis that started in the second year of middle school and was making his body stiff and painful. He had tried everything he did to stop it, but nothing worked. And finally, in the third year of college, he dropped out of school and attended the 40-day workshop, invested himself in Cheonbong, and put his heart into the workshop. After that, while walking, he received his spondylitis was cured. Then he took on a job as a full-time church staff in CheonBo Providence, got blessed to a beautiful bride, and now has 2 beautiful children. And he and his parents became inducted as CheonBo family. Through this testimony, you can realize the wonderful grace of Heavenly Parent and the true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. On page 1312 of CheonBo Mogyang, true parents said the following about spirits. Large numbers of spirits enter the body of every person. The work at Cheongpyeong removes these spirits, and beams of light created by True Parent guide those spirits, enabling them to ascend upward from hell in the spirit world. I am opening the path whereby they will be able to ascend. I am completely removing those walls and conditions, opening doors of liberation. Brothers and sisters, these words speak of the authority that only true parents can exercise, because this is the work of the providence of restoration. In Luke 16 in the Bible, there is a story of a rich man and Lazarus. The rich man lived in luxury every day, but Lazarus was a beggar who picked up and ate what he could from what was thrown away from the rich man's house outside the gate. Lazarus was covered with boils over his body, and the dogs would come and lick his wounds. Years went by, and when they both died, the beggar Lazarus was comforted at the bosom of Abraham. But the rich man was tormented in hell. The rich man, who was so thirsty in the midst of unquenchable flames, begged Abraham to let Lazarus dip his finger in the cool water and cool his tongue, but he was refused. He wanted to go to where the Lazarus was, but he could not go there. He said there was a big pit that he could not cross over. The rich have fallen to hell, in a place of eternal torment. According to Hebrews 9:27, it is appointed for a man to die once, and after that comes the judgment. This means that our life on earth is judged, and we go to the spirit world in the appropriate place to fits our life. However, when true parents saw the suffering of the people in hell, they felt the pain in the heart of Heavenly Parent, who is suffering even more. And they are providing even the spirits with the road to be restored and saved. They are the ones who are working with the power to deliver even the sinners from hell. If somebody on the earth will set a condition of indemnity, then they can move up to heaven. This is truly a work of grace, a work of blessing, a work of miracles. This is the true act of Hyojeong. Brothers and sisters, at the 1531st special training, we held an essay contest at the last Great Works. At that time, this second gen member, Kanako Takayama, entered an essay that won the grand prize. We listened to it earlier at the beginning of this workshop. After participating in the 40-day workshop, she finally met God and have confidence in true parents and her faith. If she had not participated in that workshop, she said, my life would have been miserable, both as a second-generation member and as a human being. As a second-generation member, I was finally able to accept the right way that I should live. And I came to this realization because of the true love of Heavenly Parent and the true parents who never gave up on me and never let go of me. Let us thank Kanako-san for her special message of encouragement. Let's give her a round of applause. Brothers and sisters, I hope that through the CheonBo works, you also will be saved, both spiritually and physically. As you know, the spirits of people who have gone to hell often return to the earth and inhabit the bodies of earthly people. Those who lived in hell on earth and went to hell in the spirit world can be liberated only by true parents. However, that road to liberation is not an easy one. Just as there was a long history of the providence of restoration before true parents could come, also the souls who have returned to our bodies need a lot of condition of Jeonsung before they can be liberated and meet true parents. So, but when you do offer Jeonsung and participate CheonBo works, then this can be accomplished. Brothers and sisters, the amazing grace of CheonBo works is the greatest grace that heaven can give in this age. It is a gift that cannot be imagined. True parents have provided the providence to grant this grace. In Cheonsangyung, we can read on page 1579, I know all too well that the path of destiny remains to be completed, which I must follow with my life, no matter what anyone may say. So I have struggled to follow it. We are grateful that in your grace you have allowed this blessed position to humanity, to this nation, and to our unification church. We should not become a pitiful group that violates the precious merit of the age. Brothers and sisters, as blessed families, as heavenly tribal messiahs, I hope you do not violate the benefits of this age, because if you violate the benefits of this age, big problems will arise. On page 807 of Cheonsangyung, we can read, now, great chaos is arising in the spirit world. If you do not receive the blessing, become a Messiah for your family and your tribe, and perform the liberation of your ancestors up to 7 generations, problems will arise. There is the saying, he who gives the disease offers the remedy. All of your ancestors are giving you diseases and offering you remedies. If you commit an improper act in Satan's world for which you have to pay indemnity, it is a serious problem. Restoration through indemnity is not possible. You will be caught and taken away. If you are taken, it is faster to set things right in the spirit world. Such an era is coming. There will be no indemnity period. Weren't Adam and Eve punished immediately after they fell? It will be like that. Your ancestors will do everything. In the past, people tried to achieve restoration through their descendants, but now restoration will be achieved through the ancestors. If there are individuals and families who are still entangled in the work of evil spirits after these benefits have been given, how sad heaven will be. How sorry would heaven be if you are still being courted by Satan. I will close my opening message here with the hope that all of you will receive heavenly fortune and enjoy heavenly blessings as victorious individuals and victorious families by separating the evil spirits through the Hyojeong CheonBo special great works and Hyojeong works, and who resemble victorious true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Thank you.